Hi, today I'm going to take you through this type of question, which is quite simple in what it's asking you to do. Um, we haven't got a lot of writing before it, we've just got a diagram, and the question simply asks, explain how villi are adapted for efficient absorption of sugar molecules. Okay, and this is worth 4 marks. So first of all, AQA do not print anything on exam questions that is unnecessary. Okay, so it means that the diagram is going to be very useful for us. So what we've got then is 2 villi which are found inside the small intestine and are used to absorb digested nutrients from our food and transfer it into the bloodstream. Okay. What we've also got there is a close-up of one cell, and then we've got some labels there of microvilli that we can see at the top of the diagram here, and we've also got labelled mitochondria. Okay, so as I say, there isn't anything there that we're not going to need. All right, so we need to use those clues for our answer. The other thing we need to consider is, what is the question actually asking us? The command word here is explain. So what it's saying is what is the feature and how does this help the absorption of, in this case, sugar molecules. Okay, so the two things are tied together. Say what an adaptation is, and then say why it's useful. Okay, and that is the only way that we are going to access all of the marks here. So one thing we can notice is that according to this diagram, if we didn't know anything about villi, is that we can see the cells have been drawn on individually, and we can see that actually this membrane around the villi is only 1 cell thick. Okay, so that is a very important feature. So I'm going to start with that I've noticed there. So we can say that the wall of the villi is only 1 cell thick. Okay, so how can that help sugar molecules to pass through? Well, if you're only 1 cell thick as opposed to 10 cells thick, then you've only got a short distance to travel, haven't you? Okay, so the way I'm going to describe that is that to provide a short diffusion pathway. Okay, so in that part of the answer, I have said what the adaptation is. It's only 1 cell thick. And I have given the reason why that helps efficient absorption of sugar molecules, because efficiency refers to the speed at which the sugar molecule can get into the bloodstream. Okay, so that's worthy of some marks there. The next thing I notice is that we have got basically the shape of these villi, rather than the small intestine being just a smooth tube, we've got these folds, I suppose, really. And not only that, when we get the close-up of 1 cell there in the diagram, we've got a similar arrangement here, haven't we? And they've labelled these microvilli. So even if you didn't remember what they are called, we've got them labelled on the diagram for us. So they're actually helping us out a little bit. So what we can say is that we've got microvilli. So how are they helping us to absorb sugar molecules more quickly? Well, what those microvilli do, and in fact the villi themselves as well, is that they actually produce a large surface area. If we have a look at the top of the cell here, we can see that if that cell was just flat, okay, it would have a certain amount of surface area, but the fact that we've got all of these folds and these microvilli sticking out, it massively increases the surface area. Therefore, any sugar molecules passing through have got a larger surface area to move through, okay? So microvilli, we've got many of those, and therefore that is increasing the surface area for sugar molecules to diffuse or pass through. Okay. So, what else can I notice there? Okay, I've probably nearly done enough for, 3 or 4 marks there, but you know what? I don't want to rest there, okay? I want to make sure that I absolutely smash this question. So, what else can I see? Well, look, they've bothered to label mitochondria, okay? So, what happens in mitochondria? Well, the process that takes place there is respiration. So moving sugar molecules from inside the small intestine into the bloodstream, what process requires the provision of energy to do that? So I'm thinking that is active transport. Okay, so I can say that there are many mitochondria in the cell to provide energy. Really important here, okay? I'm saying that it provides energy or transfer energy, that is fine. But what we can't say is that it makes energy or it creates energy, because energy is not created, it's only transformed from one form to another, okay? So we can't say that, and we won't get any marks for saying make or create. Okay, those are absolute no-nos when it comes to describing energy. So we are providing energy to the cell for active transport, because some of the glucose will diffuse through the cell. Once we reach a sort of equilibrium, so we've got the same concentration on one side of the villus compared to the bloodstream, then diffusion will slow down and eventually effectively stop. So active transport needs to take over to actually force the sugar molecules from where they're now in lower concentration to the bloodstream where they are in higher concentration. That's against the diffusion gradient, isn't it? So we need energy to do that. So to provide energy for the cell for active transport, what we're talking about of sugar molecules. Okay, so that's another possible answer there as well. And the final thing that I notice is that we have got, here is our blood supply on the diagram here. Now it's not specifically labelled, because actually they've labelled it as X, because elsewhere in the question it actually asks you to identify what these tubes are. So they are blood vessels, and they're really, really small, so they're going to be blood capillaries. We've got a lot of knowledge from a lot of different areas of the curriculum here, the biology syllabus that we're drawing on here. This is a really high level question. Okay, but it's not beyond us. So these are blood capillaries. So, and I can see that there is an awful lot of them inside each of the villi. So I can say many blood capillaries. So why are they there? Well, The whole point is we're trying to get these sugar molecules from the digestive system into the blood, okay, to provide a good blood supply to carry sugar molecules away to where needed. Okay, now those aren't the only answers here. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But basically, you know, I have absolutely done loads there to get my 4 marks. The actual criteria is for 3 to 4 marks on the mark scheme is, so to be in the higher bracket, is that I have to be able to provide several examples of how the villi is adapted and link those adaptations to how it allows efficient absorption of sugar molecules. So I've completely answered the question there, and with some, you know, really strong answers. As I say, they're not the only answers that we could provide, but they're the ones that are sort of jumping out from that diagram. Okay, so I've gone with those. Hope you found this helpful, but any questions at all, then please do ask any of your science teachers. Thanks very much. Bye.